First question. The intrinsic nervous system that is responsible for peristalsis is present in which part shown in the given transverse section of the human cut. A refers to serosa, B refers to inner circular, outer longitudinal to other muscularis. C refers to submucosa. D refers to mucosa. The wall of alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum possesses four layers, namely serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and mucosa. Serosa is the outermost layer and is made up of a thin mesothelium, that is epithelium of visceral organs, with some connective tissues. Muscularis is formed by smooth muscles, usually arranged into an inner circular and an outer longitudinal layer. An oblique muscle layer may be present in some regions. The submucosal layer is formed of loose connective tissue containing nerves, blood, and lymph vessels. In duodenum, glands are also present in submucosa. The innermost layer lining the lumen of the alimentary canal is the mucosa. The ability of the alimentary canal to contract is called mobility. For digestion, absorption, and subsequent defecation, the food has to be propelled subsequently along the entire length of the alimentary canal. The involuntary muscular movements of the head that pushes the luminal content downward is called peristalsis. The mesenteric flexus, that is Oyerpach's plexus, is present in the muscularis, part shown by the letter B. Second question. Study the given diagram and choose the correct statement. First statement, A is involved in the absorption of fatty acids. Second statement, B is a gland. So the A refers to lacteal, B refers to Griffiths. The mucosal layer forms irregular mold, that is rugae, in the stomach, and the finger-like molding called villi in the small intestine. The cells lining the villi produce numerous microscopic projections called microvilli, having a brush border appearance. These modifications increase the surface area enormously. Villi are supplied with a network of capillaries and a large lymph vessel called the lacteal. Mucosal epithelium has cobalt cells which secretes mucus that help in lubrication. Mucosa also forms glands in the stomach, that is gastric glands, and Griffiths in between the bases of villi in the intestine, that is Grift of Lieberkern. So the statement 1A is involved in the absorption of fatty acid. Fatty acids and glycerol, being insoluble in water, cannot be absorbed into the blood directly. They are best incorporated into small spherical water soluble droplets called micelles. with the help of the bile salt and phospholipids in the intestinal lumen. The micelles move into the intestinal mucosa where they are reformed into very small protein coated fat globules called the chylomicrons. The latter are transported into lymph vessel into the villi. B is a gland, so the answer option C. Third question. In the given diagram showing anatomical regions of the human stomach, capital A, capital B, capital C, respectively represent. A refers to fundus, B refers to cardiac, C refers to pyloric. The stomach located in the upper left portion of the abdominal cavity has three major parts: a cardiac portion into which the esophagus open, a fundic region, and a pyloric portion which opens into the bust part of the small intestine. Cardiac part, it is so called because it is present near the heart. The esophagus opens into it. The opening is called cardiac aperture. A ring of muscle called esophageal sphincter or cardiac sphincter guards the cardiac aperture. It checks the regression, that is, passage of food back into the buccal cavity of the food. The cardiac sphincter is much less effective in infants. Therefore, regression is more common in infants than in adults. Fundus, that is the upper part, it is a small dome-shaped part which extends superiorly from the cardiac part. The fundus is commonly filled with air or gas. Pyloric part or antrum, that is lower part, it is the distal narrow part of the stomach. It consists of a wider pyloric antrum and a narrow pyloric canal. The latter leads into small intestine by pyloric aperture or pylorus. The pyloric aperture is guarded by pyloric sphincter, which regulates the passage of food into the intestine. So the answer option A. Fourth question. With respect to photoperiodism, the short day plant, the long day plant, and day neutral plant are represented respectively by. It has been observed that some plants require a periodic exposure to light to induce flowering. It is also seen that such plants are able to measure the duration of exposure to light. For example, some plants require the exposure to light for a period exceeding a well defined critical duration, while others must be exposed to light for a period less than this critical duration before the flowering is initiated in them. The former group of plants are called long day plant. The long day plants fail to flower if the day length is shorter than the critical period. Some example of long day plant: spinach, binomial name Spinacia oleracea; Canpani, binomial name Hyocinthus Niger. Then other example radish, sugar beet, wheat, lettuce, etc. While the later ones are termed short-day plants. These plants initiating flowering when the day length, that is photoperiod, become shorter than a certain critical period. Most of winter flowering plants belong to this category. Some example xanthium, chrysanthemum, sugarcane, tobacco, tobacco का other name mutant Maryland mammoth, and soybean, strawberry, etc. The critical duration is different from different plants. There are many plants, however, where there is no such correlation between exposure to light, duration, and induction of flowering response. Such plants are called day neutral plant. It is now also known that not only the duration of light but that the duration of dark period is also equal importance. Some examples cucumber, cotton, sunflower, tomato, some varieties of peas, etc. So the answer option B refers to the short day plant, A refers to the long day plant, C refers to the day neutral plant. Fifth question. The growth of a root elongating at a constant rate will be represented by shown the diagrammatic representation of A arithmetic and B geometric growth. Growth rate refers to the expression of increased growth per unit time. It can be arithmetic or geometric increase. In arithmetic growth following mitotic cell division, only one daughter cell continue to divide while the other differentiate and matures. The simplest expression of arithmetic growth is explainable by root elongating at a constant rate. On plotting length of the organ at different times, a linear curve is obtained. Mathematically, it is expressed as LT is equal to L0 plus RT. Here, LT is equal to length after time t. L0 is equal to length at time 0 or at the beginning. R refers to growth rate elongation per unit time. In geometrical growth, the initial growth is slow, that is lag phase, and is increased rapidly thereafter at an exponential rate, that is log or exponential phase. It is quite common in unicellular organism when grown in nutrient-rich medium. Here, every cell divide, the daughter cell grow and divide. The ground daughter repeats the process and so on. However, with a limited nutrient supply, the growth slow down, that is stationary phase. There may be actually a declined as geometric growth cannot be sustained for long. The exponential growth can be expressed as W is equal to W0 E or T. W1 equal to final size, that is weight, height, number, etc. W0 is an initial size at the beginning of the period. R is equal to growth rate. T is equal to time of growth. E equal to base of natural logarithm 2.71828. So the correct answer option A. Sixth question. In the given diagrammatic representation of ATP synthesis in mitochondria, A B and C are respectively. The energy released during the electron transport system is utilized in synthesizing ATP with the help of ATP synthase in the electron transport chain of the complex 5. This complex consists of two major components, F1 and F0. The F1 ket phase is a peripheral membrane protein complex and contains the site of synthesis of ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate. F0 is an integral membrane protein complex that forms the channel through which proton cross the inner membrane. The passage of proton through the channel is coupled to the catalytic site of F1 component for the production of the ATP. For each ATP produced, two proton passes through the F0 from the intermembrane space to the matrix down the electrochemical proton gradient. These are chemiosmotic hypothesis proposed by Peter Mitchell in the year 1961. So the answer option A refers to the 2 proton, B refers to the F0, C refers to the F1. For each ATP produced, 2 proton passes through F0 from the intermembrane space to the matrix. Seventh question. In the given diagram, X, Y and Z respectively represent the absorption spectrum of, that is question. Looking at the plants, have you ever wondered why and how there are so many shades of green in their leaves, even in the same plant? We can look for an answer to this question by trying to separate the leaf pigments of any green plant through paper chromatography. A chromatographic separation of the leaf pigments shows that the color that we see in leaves is not due to a single pigment but due to 4 pigments: chlorophyll A, bright or blue green in the chromatogram; chlorophyll B, yellow green; xanthophyll yellow; and carotenoids yellow to orange. Let us now see what role various pigments play in photosynthesis. The curve showing the amount of different wavelength of light absorbed by a substance is called absorption spectrum. The amount of absorption of wavelength of light is studied with the help of spectrophotometer. The absorption spectra of chlorophyll A and B show that they absorb maximum light in the blue, violet and red wavelength. Spectrally, chlorophyll A has different forms which are often known after the wavelength that is observed to the maximum. Example: chlorophyll A 673, chlorophyll A 683, photostom 1, photostom 2 680, chlorophyll A 703, photostom 1 700. So the answer option C. X refers to chlorophyll B, Y refers to carotenoids, Z refers to chlorophyll A. Eighth question. In the diagrammatic representation of the H and slag pathway, A and B respectively represent, shown in the diagram, C4 cycle. C4 plants are special characters are there. They have special type of leaf anatomy. They are tolerate high temperature. They show a response to high light intensity. They lack a process called photorespiration and have greater productivity of biomass. The particularly large cell around the vascular bundles of the C4 pathway plants are called bundle sheath cell, and the leaves which have such anatomy said to have Grant's anatomy. It's an important question. Grants means wreath and is a reflection of the arrangement of cell. The bundle sheath cell may form several layers around the vascular bundles. They are characterized by having a large number of chloroplasts, thick walls impervious to gaseous exchange, and no intracellular spaces. You may like to cut a section of the leaves of C4 plant, maize or sorghum, to observe the Grant's anatomy and the distribution of mesophyll cell. In the chart, CO2 acceptor phosphoenol pyruvate to the formation of oxaloacetic acid into aspartic acid and malic acid produced in the mesophyll cell. Then malic acid enter into bundle sheath cell to break to produce carbon dioxide and pyruvic acid. Carbon dioxide enter into the Calvin cycle to produce the sucrose. The sucrose enter into vascular tissue. Then pyruvic acid re-enter into mesophyll cell phosphorylase to form phosphoenol pyruvate. This is a simple pathway of C4 cycle. In C4 cycle fixation, 1 molecule of glucose, C4 plant require 30 ATP molecules, that is 12 ATP in H-Slag cycle, 18 ATP in Calvin cycle, while C3 plant utilized only 18 ATP. C4 pathway in thus more energy expensive than the C3 pathway. So the answer option A refers to the mesophyll cell, B refers to the bundle sheath cells. Ninth question. What type of reaction is shown in the given figure? Shown in the diagram, transamination. It involves the transfer of amino group from one amino acid to the keto group of a keto acid. Glutamic acid is the main amino acid from which the transfer of NH2, the amino group take place, and other amino acids are formed through transamination. The enzyme transaminase catalyze all such reaction. For example, the two most important amides, asparagine and glutamine, found in plants are a structural part of proteins. They are formed from two amino acids, namely aspartic acid and glutamic acid respectively, by addition of another amino group to each. The hydroxyl part of the acid is replaced by another NH2 radical. Since amides contain more nitrogen than the amino acid, they are transported to other parts of the plant via xylem vessel. In addition, along with the transpiration, stream the nodules of some plant, example soybean, export to the fixed nitrogenous urites. These compounds also have a particularly high nitrogen to carbon ratio. So the correct answer option C. Tenth question. In the given diagram of typical setup for nutrient solution culture, The purpose of X is shown the diagram of a typical set for nutrient solution culture. Julius Sachs, in the year 1860, a prominent German botanist, for the first time demonstrated that plants could be grown to maturity in defined nutrient solution in complete absence of soil. Since then, a number of embraced methods have been employed. All these methods involve the culture of plants in a soil free defined mineral solution. These methods require careful purification of water and nutrient salt. In these experiments, the roots of the plant were immersed in nutrient solution, whereas a single element was supplied to the plants in excessive quantities or withheld. Two methods of the culture, one is hydroponics, second one aeroponics. So the correct answer option D, X refers to aeration tube.